Good afternoon everybody, and how are you? My name's Iris Smith and I'm the owner of a small business called The Flower Patch, where I make beautiful artificial flower arrangements for all occasions. Well, I hope you're all alright guys, and I hope you're doing well and you're still crafting and making beautiful arrangements. Right, today I did one of these a few weeks back on a video, and I found this again when I went to a flea market, and somebody had got one of these, but this was actually in silver. But I decided I wanted to spray it in black again because I really quite like the black we had last time. And I'd got some of these baskets still, these little 6-inch wall baskets, and I thought I'd, attach another one to it, and we're going to do a hanging thing, and it's going to just droop down. This time I don't want to try and cover the cage. I want the other one I covered virtually all of the cage, but this one I want to try and keep, at a certain height, but just come down around the central point and a few bits from the side. So I've got out some of my miniature boxwood that I want to use for some of our foliage and our wispy bits. With it only being little, I didn't want to overpower it with, big leaves. So I decided let's go with small on some of them. I've also I've cut some down. I think I've cut more than I need. Some of our Ruscus. I've tried to prepare, guys, before I started. So I've cut some down of our Ruscus, and with them being quite long, I've cut them down really short because, again, I don't want it covering all around here. I just want to add in the odd one and just give it a different texture. I've also taken off of the bunch some of my Tarragon, the flocked Tarragon or the dusted Tarragon again, and I've placed them on single picks so they are small and they just had a little bit of a different tone to the greenery. I've also done the same thing with some fern. I've done more than I need because I need some for another project after the video, but I've placed some on picks, and again this is a different tone of green with the spiky fern to what we've got with the dusted and the forest green boxwood, and then the dark green Ruscus. So there's 4 different tones there. Now I did these were in my oddments bucket or my leftover bucket. So I've got a few out. There was more than this, but I've only got a few out of our snow willow, and I thought I could add a bit of the twiggy bits in. Some are quite small, but I thought I could maybe incorporate some of our snow willow in, which has got a few seeds on as well, and just a tiny little bit of small leaf as well. I've also got out a fresh bunch. Now I'm not going to use all this, guys, of the Morning Glory. Again, it's a fresh bunch, so I'm going to snip away at this one. It's got all different sizes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 12 stems on here, and again I think there's 2 or 3 what are really quite long, and then the rest are staggered in size. So we're going to use this. I've also found just one last stem of this. It's a lovely little wildflower. I can remember having these, guys, and I went crazy over them. So because I've only got this one left, I'm going to have to see where I got them from. I can't remember. So I'm going to there's 3 stems on here, so I'm going to incorporate those also. Again, and they have their own small leaf foliage also. Now I've got some of my leftover lilies, white lilies, where there's only one that's open and the others are semi-open. So I thought about using the ones that are semi-open. I may use the one that's open and sit it at the front. And it's also got buds. I don't want the big buds because they are quite large. I'd probably just place in these couple of buds here that we've got. So I thought we could try and get those used up as well. Again, I'm not going to use everything what's on the bunches and that. I've got out one stem of my baby Gerberas. There's 7 stems on here. So we've got one out, and I thought we could have that for movement, whether there's some coming down from the side, and cut some a little bit short and place them at the top. I've also placed a hydrangea. I've pulled it off the main head and placed single picks on to make them smaller as well, instead of having the big full head, which would look, you know, like this, sat on there too big. So I've placed them smaller. I've also, I kept looking at these the other day, our lily of the valley. I thought, you know, I've got to make an arrangement and just add something, you know, with the lily of the valley in. So I thought today, what a, you know, different texture. They are plastic and UV protected, but they are small as well. Again, I don't want to have big flowers in such a small basket. So I've minimalised the size of the flowers, apart from the lily, but that would be the biggest. Again, that's why I want to just use these semi-open lilies. And I've got some of this. These are on just picks like that. I haven't opened them yet, but they are, if I could pull one out, yeah. They just come in singular picks like that in a bunch. And I'm not sure, I haven't done anything or placed these on single picks yet, because I may want to put these in as a cluster. So, and again, with these being small, that would also add in a different texture as well. So that's what we're going to do today. Let's move all the floral down there. And the first thing I want to place in is our Morning Glory, with it being the hanging floral. So I'd like to get that in. And I'm going to stand up today. And that's a bit of a rarity. So what I'm going to do, again, because I've looked at the long ones and they really do hang down low, I was thinking I may just place in one long one. So I'm going to cut one off. And I've thought about letting it just hang down like this at the bottom. So let's start with that one. And I'm going to place it right at the back so it's furthest away and it's not hanging too far down. And I'm going to place that in the centre. And just let that, when things are on it, it will come closer to the cage. And then I'm going to go in size, and I'm going to cut something shorter, and I want to place that around here as well on the front, but from the side point, just at the front, coming near to the front, but it is actually on the side. If you can see, just on the right on the corner there, I've placed it. And let that just hang as well, but not as long as the others. I'll do another one on the opposite side. And again, I'm going to place it at the top, but right in the corner again. I just want to try and get the smaller ones. I may bring that one there at the front, but at the bottom. And I'm going to do the same in between here as well. So I've got some tinier ones which I want to place just slightly here, coming out from the side, but shorter in length. So let's get one in. I'm placing this more near to the centre because I don't want it sticking out too far. And our last one we'll do on the opposite side. So we've just added a little bit of morning glory down there. I don't want any more. I want to now add in just a little bit of the foliage. Again, I don't want it overpowering and it going right to the top. So I'm going to place one. I have to and push it in as far as it will go, and just to incorporate it within our arrangement. And then do another one from the side as well. Again, if I think they are like this one's quite long, I'm going to pull it off if I can, or snip it off, because I don't want it that long. And I may, let's have a look. I don't know whether to cut and have one maybe there. You just turn it around. Or I could incorporate it. Let me just get another one and place that in the middle at the bottom, just to incorporate some of the ruscus at the bottom. That hasn't got. And I'm going to bring just one in at the front here, just coming over the top, and I'm going to do the same with another one. Again, I don't want all of the ruscus in, so I think I went a little bit happy with chopping, but never mind, I can use those for another project. And just to incorporate those within. Now, I've got the fern, the spiky fern, and with this I want a bit of a, with the point being on it, just to define that shape coming out at the bottom. And again, keeping them relatively all close to each other, like so. And then place one under here. Like that as well. I'm going to place two coming from out the side. I'm going to cut these shorter on the stem because I don't want those again as long. We just bring a little bit of movement and fern at the top. I may have one more, and I may bring that slightly longer at the bottom. And I'll go underneath. And just have that there. So that's all I want in of the fern as well. Got it mixed up. I've got our boxwood. Now I've got some of these on single picks and some where they've got a couple or two or three on. And again, I want these ones coming down here again for the different texture. So I'm going under. I'll do the same just on this side as well. Here's one with three, so I may bring that just slightly a little bit more higher. Let it stick out so it all blends in. Then I've got the single ones. I have to keep holding the cage because it's not fastened. And I'm bending the stems so they're going downwards. You could also place them in with at an angle. Because I'm placing this one at the top, I just need to slightly bend it. Doesn't that look pretty? Again, I don't want a lot in, guys. I may bring that one there, but I don't want any more of those. What I want to do is get in our lilies. So with these being some leftovers, some are much shorter. So we'll just bring some in so that we'll use those. That's a big one. That's just a bud. So I don't want the big buds like that. So we don't want that one. Oops, a daisy. So what I'm going to do with just 2 of these, I'm going to bring these in around here. So let's make a sharper point. I can't get that one. Oh, it's on a leaf, that's why, guys. Silly me. We'll bring that one just off from the side. Take that leaf off. Now I'm going to do the same on this side. Oh, it's a daisy, I can't see. Let's just make sure it gets pushed in. I don't think that one's gone in. Let's get the, if I can find the old puncher to give it a helping hand. There we have it. Again, I don't want them all, you know, right opposite. I do want some movement, you know, one in some in different directions. Let's use this one. We'll save the leaves. We could use those for something. So let's see where I'd like to. I could perhaps bring that slightly up. Just have a nice floral at the back. So I'm going to put a hole in. I'll keep my hole puncher there. And then I've got the buds. Now, I could place the buds in as one, but I don't want it that long. So I'll take the 2 leaves off at the bottom. Tidy the stem. The stem is quite thick and chunky. So we'll just there's one that's come off. Like so. Just give it another snip. I'm going to bring this at the back, the buds, so you've got just something of a different texture at the back. There we go. Again, not too high up. So I'm not going to place any more in. I don't want the big one. Or do I have the big one coming down here? Oh, I don't know. I may place it on a single pick if I can. We'll just get these. I'm going to pick what's still in, hopefully out. There we have it. So what I want to do with this, we could bring that down here. Just open it a little bit. I've ordered a new glue pan, guys. There's something wrong with this one. It seems to have like a crack in it. So I've had to order another one. So we'll bring that lily down there. So we don't want the rest. Now, I'm going to cut these up. These lovely little pink wildflowers. And I want to bring these, there's only 3, so I may bring 2 coming out here and may have the other one sitting in the centre. Do the same around to here. Move all the leaves out of the way. What do I have it in there? I may have it there. Trying to keep it as compact as I can. As much as I love my wispy bits, on this occasion I want to just keep it together as much as I can. Now I've got these snow willow that I've had leftovers. I could use some of the, how many long ones? I've got 2 longish ones, so I could bring those under here as well. Just add some of those where they've got the seeds on. I'm going to pull the bottom 2 off because the stem's not very long and I need that length. So now placing one on this side. can get it in. It's hard to see. Oops, the stem's bent over. So let me cut it a little bit. There I have it. And then bring that down and underneath as well. I do have some smaller pieces. I could incorporate a few in around the centre. Where the pink flower is, let it join in with that. And I've got, I could bring just a couple either side here. At the side where the lily is. Just trying to hold the, again, I don't want to bring it out too much or, you know, make the height too tall. So I have to take into consideration that I want to see the cage. And then I've got a smaller one I could bring just here. That one or that one. That one a bit better. I'm going to bring just a little, just at the back. It all depends on if you want to have a big arrangement and to the point where you won't see the cage like I've done before. There's no right or wrong way of doing an arrangement like that. You know, it's whatever pleases the person and what they'd like. You know, it's their choice. Or if you're doing it, you know, if you're doing it for a customer, it's their choice at the, you know, at the end of it. I want to bring some of these hydrangeas, you know, down as well. And I may want to bring one around the centre. Let's get the one in the centre first. So, because there's a lot of white around here, so just by bringing in a little bit of colour, we'll balance that out as well. Could actually bring it there. And also, depending on how deep your basket is, and if it's a wicker one like this, you can place your stems through the wicker itself. It doesn't have to be in the foam. You can place it through the wicker, which will give you more of a choice. I want to bring some up here because there's nothing up there really. So let's, how far? Bring it there. So again, I'm going around where the lilies are when I'm going near the top. Excuse me. As you can see, I haven't brought it up, so it's going up to this height. I'm trying to stay below this little pattern here on the cage, and because I don't want to, I want to see the cage on this occasion. So that's those. I've got 2 left. I don't want to, I may bring these down to the bottom. Right, and I'm going to go through the wicker. So they're just hanging at the side, and I'm going to have another one hanging next to this Morning Glory as well. So I'm going through the wicker. And have that one hanging there. So that is, doesn't that look pretty? Now let me try with these Lily of the Valley. Now this is, I don't know, that's an odd piece. I'm not so fond of the leaf on it. It's too much of a sheen or a shiny leaf, and also by pulling them they are fraying. I don't know if you can see, you know, if I bring it closer they do fray, so I will take those off and I will throw them because there's nothing I can do with them. I wouldn't use anything that's fraying on anybody's arrangement. So I just want to, so if you get any leaves where they are fraying, I mean, it's your choice if you use them, but personally I don't, because I don't like, you know, I want the customer coming back and saying, you know, the leaves are fraying, they're looking a bit old and not very pretty. So I wouldn't personally place them on. Let's take it off of that one as well. So I'm going to bring this one at the back as well, but push it quite far down. Again, I don't want it too far up. I do want, I've got some here, what I've got a little bit of lavender on. I may place those in. I need something here, because if I face this to you, you can see right here there's something, or should I say there's nothing there. So we need to be placing something in that spot. Oh, thank you. So we're going to be placing, again, those in there. My husband's not at work today, guys. He hasn't been at work yesterday. He's really not well. He suffers with the condition, the ME, which is chronic fatigue syndrome. And he's, as we call it, me and my husband's named it, he's come crashing down and it's really affected him. So he's not well. So I'm going to bring, I think we're going to need something else there as well. We've got the others. We'll just place those in. Add a little bit extra texture. Now I've got some different Lily of the Valley with different foliage, and these are just the same. The leaves that you can see where they're fray, you could pull them up, and as you can see, that doesn't look good, and that wouldn't look good for a customer. So I will pull those leaves off. I don't want those. And I'm going to place one. I can see behind there. I'll hang on to those. I may bring some down at the bottom. I just want to now get in the baby Gerberas, which is one of my favourites, and my sister's and my friend Claire. It's one of our favourites. They're very popular with customers. So we've got 7. So I'm going to just cut off 3 to start with, because again, I may not use all of them. So in here, I'm going to bring one of these Gerberas, because again, to me, it's still looking a little bit bare, and it's still a big gap there. I could easily, again, I took one of these out. I could easily place one of those there instead, with it, you know, as a cluster. That would look quite nice. I might do that. Let's get one in. How quick do you change your mind? So I'm going to get that in, being a cluster, and bring that there. Let's get another one. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not a fan of having your stems tied up with the raffia. They do it so tight. There we go. Let's take that tag off. So I'm going to bring one then here as well on the opposite side. I can just push it in. There we have it. So let's see if that's... So that's taken away that empty space there. It's not left us with it looking bare. But I still want... I'm going to bring some of the calla lilies down. They all push up. No, I keep calling them calla lilies. I've got calla lilies on my head today. I don't know why. Or on my brain. And I don't know why. I'm going to bring this one and hang it. Hang it slightly down as well. And do the same with this. One moment, my glue pan is steaming and I've got quite a bit of glue in and it's not on hot. Well, not hot, high. I don't know if it's to do with that crack in the pan that's bothering me. So it's a good job. I've not had it long, to be quite honest, guys. And for it to be already, you know, breaking or cracking, I've never known them to crack. With it being round, it's like in the centre, it's forming a circular crack. And I've got these visions that the glue's just going to go through. So I've ordered a square one. Let's hope that one's okay. They're not expensive. I got it off Amazon. They are quite cheap, depending on what size you want. But because of the work that I do need a glue pan. Because I'd be forever putting glue sticks in my glue gun. I tend to just use my glue gun for smaller things, or you know, maybe doing oh my good gracious, I'm getting weird today. An extremely compact arrangement. I tend to use them for that, because the stems, when I cut them down, are only small, and I'm dipping them in my glue pan. I'm a bit wary in case I get caught, you know, the glue gets caught on the flowers. So I do use my glue gun for that. So I've placed a baby gerbera there. I think I'm going to need one down here underneath the lily. So I'm going to go through, I just move through the wicker. Just bend it a little bit, like so. So I've got the... do I place that there? Yeah, I'm going to place that there. And just use 3. I'm majority of the floral and that I'm just using 3 of, because again it's a small basket, but I do want it quite compact, so I don't need those. I've got 3 baby gerberas left. I may bring some up the top and then one in the centre. So let's just push these up. So I've used 7 of the gerberas, 7 stems, just 1 bunch. So I'm going to shorten the stems on these, and again have these. I'm going to go and just have it coming slightly up and slightly out. It's got a bit of movement. And then bring that colour around here as well, because we've just got white and green. So bring a bit of the pink on the sides. And the same on the top. There's no really colour here apart from the white and the green. So I want to just bring one of these at the top. But again, I don't want it too high. So I'm shortening this stem because I don't want it as big. So we'll bring that up there like so. Doesn't that look pretty? Oh, my husband's bought me a drink. The purple wreath we had on the wall, the one with the dusky purple, that's been sold, that's gone. That went this morning. I can't remember if it's, I think it's it's the swag that I did. The swag what's on the door. I was thinking of another pink one, but no, it was the swag on the door. Somebody's interested in that, and they're going to give me a call today about it, and you know, those sort of things. So that may be gone. The blue one, that's not gone yet, and this orange one we did yesterday, that's not gone. These what I've got up above, they're just personal use for decoration in my workshop. I've got a wreath over there what I made quite a while back. I won't let it go because I like it too much, but I just can't think of a place to put it because I've got one on my front door. I've got the wheel one, the wagon wheel one with the bee in. If that doesn't sell, that's going on my front door instead. So, because I quite like that. Right, So now we have got, and we're left with our tarragon. And again, just for a little bit of filler foliage, with it being soft and you know, dusted, it's going to really, not tarragon, Ruscus. Oh gosh, why have I called it tarragon? I'll show you the tarragon. Oh my gosh, you may understand why I've called it that. Why have I called it that? This is the tarragon. So if I hold these together, very similar, very similar. I mean, the tarragon's thinner leaves. I may use that actually. Oh yeah, I quite like that instead. So we're going to use the tarragon, guys, not the Ruscus. I can't believe I've called that tarragon. I know better than that. So we're going to use, I've got some on single picks already in here. So let's use the tarragon. Cut them down. And these are also dusted. And these are in a similar texture to the lamb's ear. So this would give off a lovely soft foliage amongst with the darker, and it looks lovely against pinks and whites. So let's find a spot. I want, something's missing around here. I don't know whether to, no. What do I place it? No, because I've got one there. So I may have to just, let's have a look. I don't want to add much more in, really. I want it to stay with what I've chosen, apart from the tarragon. So we're going to just dot a few of these around. Again, I tend to do that with thin and small foliage. I give it that little extra interest. I may place one there. Let's see if we can get one here. There. I'll do the same on this side. Okay, I just want to make sure it's not too sticking out too far. And I want to place just a few up here at the top. Okay, not deeply, you are all quite high. Oh, it's steaming again, and I've turned it down even more. The thing is, you can't have it turned in a glue pan. You have to have it like a honey consistency. The lower you turn it down to like number 1 on your thermostat, or I don't know, you may have the temperature as 200 degrees or anything like that. If you know, more you turn it to a lower heat, the thicker your glue becomes, and that's not what you want. You need your glue to have that honey consistency where it it would run, you know, fall or run off of your stem. That one's getting a bit thicker because I've turned it down. So I don't know. I don't think it's working very well. So I think if I stand back, I may place one there. Just where the Gerberas is here. Place that there. So that's what we've got. I don't need no more. We don't need no more in, because again, if I add any more in, it's going to not really add much more interest, you know, another flower or something. And again, I didn't want it too big covering the top. I don't mind it's covering the bottom because it's trailing. That's what they're supposed to do, so they will cover. But at the top, if you feel it's still sticking out quite wide, just bring them in like that and they will become more compact and, you know, look more of a thinner shape, so you may be able to see the sides as well. So that's what we've got. Now I was wondering about more of the lily of the valley, so let me just get these out of the way. And put the bands back around them. So they don't fall. I need these spiky fern for a project, so I'll keep these aside. Sorry guys, I do talk to myself a bit. Now the Ruscus, I definitely don't need no more Ruscus, so they can go in the leftover bucket. Because we didn't, I wanted it to be more of a floral than foliage. The Morning Glory has got a lot of ivy on it, so that would, you know, compensate for placing lots of what did I do with that? Lots of other foliage in. So I don't want those in my way, and I don't want the lilies. So I'm torn whether to put some more of the lily of the valley. I can't make my mind up whether I want to bring one or two down at the bottom. I think I do. So I'm going to take the leaves off again because I don't like them. They do fray. Tidy it up a bit, the stem. Oh, one moment guys. Hello? Sorry about that guys. I've got the parcel here, I've got to move it. Oh my goodness, one moment. It is my glue pan. So, thank goodness that has arrived. Right, I've just looked at the camera and I had a feeling when I looked, you couldn't really see it. So I'm a bit annoyed with myself now for not checking. So I'm so sorry guys. So I have altered it. It's a bit too late, I know. So what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to place two just hanging down here. I may bring them down underneath the hydrangea, because if I bring them here, they're going to stick out, and I want it to go down slightly, not too much to a point, more of an oval shape. But again, if I bring them here, it's going to, you know, disrupt that shape by placing them there. So I bring them in a little bit more. So I'll bring them under here. If I can. I don't think that one's in very well. It may drop out. I'm sure I didn't quite get it in. So let me just place this one. That one's in. That one's not. No, I didn't think it was. So let's just place that one back. Put a sharper point on it. So we'll go underneath the hydrangea. Oh, I've got a bit of glue. There we go. That's in as well. Bring these back down. I think that's what I'm doing. So that is our project for today. Again, my sincere apologies, guys, if you couldn't see what I was doing at the bottom. I didn't realise. I should just check. The thing is, I don't want to zoom out when I'm doing something, because I find when I zoom out, you don't get to see really that much of what I'm doing. So I prefer to have it zoomed in. And that's where the problems start, because if I zoom in too much, you don't see what I'm doing at the bottom, and I think that's what's happened. So I'm so sorry. I will be frustrated with myself, so I will be having a few words with myself about that. So that's our lovely little basket arrangement done to go on any wall. Now you could place this if you live in a block of flats, you know, or high rise, and you've only got a small balcony area. You could place something like this, you know, on the wall where the balcony is. If you've got just you personally, you just don't like big arrangements, you know, something like this would look lovely on your garden, you know, perhaps on a wall or on a fence, or even on your summer house or your shed, just to give it a little bit of summery feeling. And you know, where you can now see the cage of it, but it's quite full because I wanted everything to be quite compact. Not when I mean compact, I really tend to mean where everything is touching each other, like you would if you did something and everything was like that. That's compact to me. But this is sort of like a semi-compact, where there is spaces in between for the flowers to look like they can breathe, but it's more enclosed with each other than, you know, how I'd usually do it, where it's wispy and it's, you know, like you see on here. So but I think it's quite pretty, and if this doesn't sell, I might place, I've got a place for this, and that would look pretty on the front of my workshop, because my workshop is on the front. So this would sit lovely on the front of my workshop. So yeah, I quite like that. I'm naughty. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Again, my sincere apologies if it, you know, with the camera position, I must sort this out. But, you know, overall, I hope you like what you see. You don't have to do things in pinks. If you've got different colour choices, choose whichever colour you desire. I'm sure it will always look pretty and look beautiful. And if you've got a cage, or if you've not got a cage, and you've just got the basket or something like that, don't worry yourself. The basket without the cage still will look as beautiful as anything. So that's just a little added bit that I saw when I picked it up at a flea market. So, but overall, I think that's come out really pretty. And again, if you don't want to use things like the lilies, you know, you can use other types of flowers. It doesn't have to be lilies. You know, if you wanted one doing in sunflowers, to do with, you know, different coloured sunflowers, or, you know, have it all in, instead of just pink and white, you could have a multicoloured one, you know, and add in, if you don't want morning glory, you could add a bit of wisteria in as well and let that hang down. That would look pretty. And if you want pansies, you could put pansies in instead, or sweet pea, anything like that. Just make it really look pretty, and just add different types of texture and tone. You know, especially with your foliage, I tend to like to have sort of like dark foliage, then I like a forest green, then a sort of in between a forest green and a, you know, a light green, and then I also like a limey green. So I like different tones because they all will sit together beautiful. And even with the floral as well, with the pinks, I've got the really baby pink here, but then I've got more of a medium pink, because this pink on this flower is more of a cerise pink. So different tones of pink as well. You know, I find that if you just do one tone, I mean, this is only my personal opinion, you know, I'm sure that if people do it just with one tone of, you know, any floral, it'll look beautiful. But my personal opinion, and the way I was taught, you need to add different tones and textures, you know, and to give that interest and make it look more pleasing to the customer's eye. So again, if you want to give it a go, guys, give it a go and have fun and enjoy it, because it's a lovely little thing that you can place around. My sister is going crazy for placing things on all around her stables. So have fun. Please subscribe, share and like to everybody who you know, guys, and bring them along, even if it's just a beginner, or you've got a, you know, a granddaughter or a daughter or a niece or even a nephew or a grandson who wants to take this sort of design up, you know, as either as a hobby or anything like that. Bring them along, you know, and I'm sure that by watching some of my tutorials, they may get an idea and pick up their own signature style, what they like. But, you know, my tutorials are mainly to help you with your tones, your lines, you know, your boundaries, your colour, you know, the colour of the things, because the colour is the most important thing any customer looks for. So, and also different shapes as well. This is more an oval shape. As you can see here, it's only got these couple of strands that are slightly bigger. It's not a teardrop, because a teardrop would be a bit more long and coming the shape down a bit more longer down the sides here. So this is more of an oval. So give it a go and have fun, guys. Again, please press that subscribe button. Come along and join us. And and see me make mistakes and rectify it as well, because I'm only human and I don't cut and edit. So I'd rather you see what I do wrong. So if it ever happened to you, you would understand or have an idea on how to rectify it yourself. So take care, everybody. Have a wonderful day. God bless, and stay healthy and keep creating. I love you all. Bye for now. Bye-bye. So let's just take this off. So here is the cage at the back. As you can see, it's like love art, isn't it? I've just realised it's the love art going across. Oh, that's sweet. There is your lily buds just here. Then you've got your little baby Gerberas. There is your Tarragon. Then you've got your snow willow here and your Ruscus. And then you've got your lily of the valley. And then you've got your little pink lavender. And then you've got your lilies, your semi-open lilies. And then your hydrangeas here as well, your pink hydrangea. There's only one lily that's open. And then you have your morning glory, your trailing morning glory in white. I do have it in various colours. And then you have your spiky fern as well. Well, oh, and these lovely pink wildflowers, aren't they pretty? They're really, really pretty. So, and that's what we've added in. If I stand back a little bit, if you can get it all in now. Again, it's a bit there. I think that's it. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Take care. Give it a go and have a wonderful time doing it. And come and join me again tomorrow. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now.